Hello everybody, my name is Chelsea Robson, and if you just stumbled upon this channel, it might be because you just liked the idea of losing a bunch of weight in your new year. And if that's the case, hey, great! Every week I put out a new vlog. It tells you a little bit about my life and what's going on. And last week we talked a lot about my music goals because I'm a musician. I sing and I perform out all the time, and I also record different music for online usage as well. So if that's something you'd like to hear more of, definitely subscribe. This is also, last week I talked about the music stuff. This week I'm going to talk about goals of last year and how I accomplished them. So one of my goals was to be more healthy. I really wasn't trying to lose a whole bunch of weight, nor did I have a mindset of I have this number that I'm gonna hit or anything like that. This is definitely something that I was just like, I was having a lot of allergic reactions, and I really wanted to just be able to not have them anymore. So I started out using the Whole30 diet, which is something I highly recommend. It was very useful for me to be able to start basically as an elimination diet. Start with the things that I knew that were okay, and then kind of add them back in as I was trying to figure out exactly what was giving me issues. The thing is, as I was doing that, I realized it's basically everything outside of this that gives me issues. So I kind of just live it. It's my everyday life, which is great for me because once I found out what works for me, I can change it in my mind so that now I no longer have any cravings for dairy, which was honestly one of my biggest things and the saddest things, that I wasn't able to have ice cream anymore. But once again, once you change it in your mind of like, oh, the moment I have something like this, I get sick. Okay, let's not do that anymore. So all of these things were great passes. Passeos. I also speak Portuguese, and so sometimes different words may come out. Anyway, so there were a lot of different steps that got me to where I am today. And that first one was to be able to change in my mind what food meant to me. This actually started a long time ago. Years ago, I was living in Nashville, and I was at the gym, and I was running on the treadmill, and I was in a mode where I wanted to become more self-aware. And as I was running on the treadmill, I was like, I need to lose 10 more pounds. But I decided to ask myself, why? And I just followed that line of thinking. Why do I want to lose that? Well, because then I'll be skinny. Well, why? Well, because then people will like me. And when I realized that was my motivation, my true motivation, I realized, ooh, this is not a safe place to be. And so that's really been my goal, is to have a very healthy self awareness, and to be able to realize exactly what I'm doing. Because once I realized that was where my original motivation was, I needed to change it right away. And it's something that's really hard to do, and it's really hard to get your mind in that zone. But I ended up being able to successfully get to the point where I think less and less about outward influences and how they affect me and my choices and my daily decisions. But more so, okay, instead of doing that, I wanted to change it so I'm no longer thinking about how other people see me, but instead how I believe in God, and I believe that I am a spiritual being having a temporal existence, and that my body was a gift, and every cell in my body is not me. Every cell in my body is something that is trying to help me, the spiritual being, be able to accomplish all my goals. And when you're able to have that mindset, you become a whole lot more empathetic for yourself, and you care a whole lot more about what you put in your body, because at that point in time, it's no longer about how other people see you, because your body isn't you. You're always about, how do I help my body be able to help me? And that's really where I came into, and I was like, you know what, I made the decision that from now on, I'm going to put it in my mind that the reason why I do things is not so for outward influences, but I do things because it makes me feel good. And outside of that is because I appreciate my body for everything that it's done for me. And so I'm going to do everything in my power to be able to help it and make it feel better. So that's when I was having all of these issues. I was like, you know what? I need to make these changes. And that's one of the reasons why it made it a lot easier for me to make the change and no longer think about, oh, but I can't have dairy. Oh, but I can't have grains. Oh, but I can't have this. Oh. And it was way more of the effect of like, wow, when I eat good things, my body tells me that it's happy and I feel so much better. And that's really what I've gotten to the point in the last year. So last February is when I was like, nope, I'm going to make these changes and start doing what's right. And from then till now, I just can't, it's literally changed my life. And I'm so happy that I made those decisions. That's how I start this video out, because I want you to know that it's not just about a fad diet. This is all about what works for me and what works to make me feel better. So I had to find a diet or a meal that I could have consistently, that I didn't have to think about, and I could have on ready all the time. And so that's what I decided to do. Is First off, I found these Ziploc steamer bags because I knew I needed to do a lot of vegetables, because the basic things that I could eat were vegetables and meats. And so I was like, oh, basically paleo. This one was a lifesaver because you're able to take these bags and it just comes out like this, and then you fill them up and then you just put them in the fridge, and then they are there whenever you need them. You grab one, put it in the microwave for 5 minutes on high, and you're good. So that is what comes out with this. Yay! It's so pretty and gorgeous, and I love it so much. I'm going to show you a couple different things that I put in my bag that I always find are winners. So first off, my measurements are basically the handful. I do a handful of broccoli, a handful of baby carrots. Anytime I go shopping, I'll get like a different assortment of vegetables. This time I got some asparagus because I likes the asparagus. And a fun trick that I learned several years ago from a friend is you don't have to cut them, you just break them off, and they break off at the appropriate place. That kind of, it's dead at that point. And then you just keep breaking them. So yay, that makes it a whole lot easier. So now you got your handful of asparagus. I also love to do yellow squash and zucchini. Now because I do this literally every day, I bought one of those spiralizers. So before that I would just do like 4 or 5 slices, but now I have them in nice little spirals. Yay! The only reason is because I feel like it's more fun. So we throw that in there. A lot of times I'll add maybe some onion. Red onions are kind of my favorite. A lot of times I'll do raw bell peppers. But I found something at Costco that's probably one of my favorite new things. And it is called Tasso's Fire Roasted Florinas peppers. They're whole and sweet and fire roasted and delicious. They look great as is, like in the bottle before you open it, and then after you open it, they taste amazing on whatever you do. I like to add these specifically after. If I were going to go with the raw, then I would put 5 or 6 slices in the bag as is, and then I would be able to put that in the microwave, and then it's like all good. But because these have such a distinct taste, I like having it a burst of flavor when you put it into your actual meal, as opposed to kind of like seeping through everything. Because, you like having that little ooh, I could see that right there. This is my favorite seasoning, I think, ever. It's from Weber, and it's called Kickin' Chicken. One of those things that I feel like I use on honestly everything. It's so good. So if you haven't tried it, definitely it's something to try. Now, as far as how much you put in, if you were to have all of this kind of spread out on a plate, just kind of like imagine yourself throwing this on all the vegetables, and maybe a little bit more, but not much. So you just throw enough on there, shake it around. And I will add a dollop of coconut oil because coconut oil is amazing. Now, the reason why I do the spinach very last is because if you put the seasoning on top of the spinach, it makes the spinach dry out in the microwave, so it doesn't taste as good. But if you add the layer of coconut oil on the bottom, it also softens the taste of the spinach. Because I know there's a lot of people who are like, I don't like the taste of spinach. Well, honestly, when you add the coconut oil, it really softens the taste, and I love it. And there you go. I put this in the microwave for 5 minutes and come out, and then I'll add my meat to it. This one I also added a little bit of avocado because avocado tastes amazing. So yeah, that is my meal. And then if I'm not going to eat it, so like for right now, because I already made my meal, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the fridge, and I'll be able to grab it at any point in time. Now this is the basis of how I started out my 2018. I basically had 3 of these a day, and I would have like 1, maybe 2 meat patties along with it, or whatever meat I'm going to be using. After the first month and a half, about 15 pounds dropped really quickly. And I felt really good. I would wake up and you didn't feel like you had anything left in your gut anymore from like a couple days ago, because sometimes that happens if you eat certain things that just don't fit. Your gut just like doesn't know what to do with it, and so it just stays there forever. But when I would wake up, I just felt like I feel empty and I'm ready for the day, and that felt really good. And then it took, like I said, 15 pounds came off really quickly. The next 5 were a lot slower, and then I plateaued quite a bit for a while, but I still wanted to lose a little bit extra, and so I decided that I would change it up just a bit. And instead of just doing these, I started using the MyFitnessPal app to be able to track my macros, and I ended up moving into more of a protein plus fat, and then added maybe 1 bag of the vegetables, because that adds a lot of carbs to it. And the protein powder that I liked the best was this one. It's V-Pro. This one is chocolate, but they also have a vanilla. And the reason why I like this one the best, it has 23 grams of protein and only 3 grams of carbs, which is so much better than so many of the others, because I have a lot of others that have quite a bit more on the carbohydrate level, so you're not really able to get as much ahead in the protein style, in your protein levels. There's only so many cans of tuna that I can eat to really get your protein up there, and so I was really happy when I found this one. I also can't do whey protein, and so the vegan plant protein, this one it works really well for me. If you have any suggestions on other types of proteins, I'm all open to that. These are just the ones that I found. And generally when you find something that works, you just kind of stick with it because you don't want to make other decisions. So if you have any other things that I can try, let me know. Yeah, that's my basic daily. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, once I changed into the macro side, I ended up losing an additional 10 pounds like within a month too. So that was pretty awesome. So big shout out to to actually counting macros, and that really helps a lot. And so once I did that helped. So right now I've plateaued and I'm pretty stable at my current weight. I'm not really I don't really have a weight in mind. I kind of do, but I kind of don't. It's more of like, okay, if I'm wanting to improve a little bit more, I'm going to have to add a lot more exercise because, don't really do much. But we'll add that in as we go. One step at a time, people. Literally. All right. Let me know if you have any suggestions on different meals that you think I should try, because this one works for me, but if you have another one that you think would work, I would love to be able to try it out, because, variety is the spice of life, or kickin' chicken is my spice for life. Anyway, until next time, this was my vlog number 4. If you have any other ideas on things that you'd like to hear me do or see me do, I would love to get your input. Until next time, my name is Chelsea, and we'll see you.